Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings on planet Earth, wherever you are today, whatever you're up to. Was your toast finished yet?
Nearly. I'll be out your way in a sec.
You don't have to go out of your way. I was going to talk about cancel culture today. I'm going to speak up a bit because some people have said the sound comes and goes, and it may be where I move away from the camera and then back.
It's on the microphone.
No, not at the moment, not now I've started filming. That's a bit awkward. I was reading an article by Selina Scott. I don't know if anybody remembers her. She bore a striking resemblance to the late Princess Diana. Everybody
I remember Selena.
remarked. Yes, I liked Selina Scott. She can be quite edgy. Where are you going? Come back.
Everyone can be quite edgy, darling. Especially you.
No, she was quite spiky. And she was saying she was asked to join a reunion with the breakfast show. You know, she used to do with Frank Boff. Anyone remember Frank Boff? I adored Frank Boff as a child. He was just so lovely. It was like Uncle Frank, wasn't he?
I remember him from Grandstand. Was it
Grandstand?
Speak
up a little bit.
Was it Grandstand he used to go on?
He did that for
go to
years.
football. I hated football.
Yeah, but Frank could make anything like a nice subject. But then Frank had a do.
I was never into Frank Boff, okay?
No, but he was a nice guy, you've got to admit.
I don't know, maybe he was.
Didn't you not watch him on breakfast TV or anything?
No.
Oh, my dad did, so we had that on in the mornings. I really liked him. He was sort of like, I don't know, Bob Hope kind of era and those sort of blokes.
Yeah.
And he was cancelled. Cancel culture's been around a long time. He was cancelled because he went with a prostitute, and that was that.
Is that all?
Yeah.
I cancelled him for that?
Yeah. And even Selena, I'm sure I remember at one point she said that one of the production people or one of the channels she worked for said, I'm going to finish you, you'll never work again. I'm sure I remember something like that. And she kind of vanished off the TV. And I thought, oh, where's Selena gone? And Angus Deaton, I was reading about this morning, apparently he revelled in it. Apparently, I just read this in the Daily Mail, so I don't actually remember. I love Angus Deaton as well. Remember him? He was cancelled, and apparently he revelled in it when Frank Boff fell. And then years later,
there he is snorting cocaine. And
he was with a prostitute. It was a prostitute sold him out to the news of the world. So cancel culture's been around a long time, and I've always thought it's an incredibly vengeful and horrible thing. Now, when you get a character like Jimmy Savile, I don't go.
I was going to eat my toast.
Oh, right, okay.
I don't want to eat my toast in front of people.
When characters like Jimmy Savile was never cancelled. Nobody knew until he died. And in a way, I mean, how is anybody ever really going to know the full truth of it? How can that be? And yet other people, they make a mistake, you know, they're famous, they've got money, they do something silly, they say something silly, and that's it, and they're gone. And I loved Angus Deaton on Have I Got News For You? And in each instance, and every time I see this happen, apart from Savile, I mean, Savile, I always looked at Savile and thought, what the hell is going on here? My gran used to reprimand me if I ever said, ooh, he's a bit creepy. She'd kind of clip me round the back of the ear and go, don't blaspheme against the wonderful Sir Jimmy Savile. He does so much work for charity. And so I wasn't really allowed to say in my own household. But Frank Boff, I remember my father was, he was disappointed in the literal sense of the word, not in the sense that people use it these days, like, I'm so disappointed in you, you know, the way some people weaponise that word. My father was literally, he loved Frank Boff, and he was like, oh, that's a shame, you know, it's not good that what he did, but I really liked seeing him on the telly. So I'm hoping that society is going to discover that by cancelling people, why don't they just leave these celebrities on their shows and let the ratings do their jobs? The production company will soon discover if the audience doesn't like a particular celebrity, or the audience is largely judgmental and condemns them, which I don't actually think the majority of the audience does. I don't think the audience really care, largely speaking, about a celebrity's moral standards. Now, then there's other types of famous people, such as members of the royal family. different ball game, as we've seen with Prince Andrew, who, I hasten to add, has always denied all allegations and has never been convicted of anything before anybody goes there. Because a lot of sugars have said to me, or I see things, they say, oh, you don't like Meghan more than Andrew. Well, in a manner of speaking, I suppose I have convicted Markle because of being vengeful and not liking to forgive people, because she will not forgive her own father. And I adored my father, and he wasn't perfect. I loved him. I was devastated when he died. And I wonder if she will be devastated when her father dies, because he will. We all will, ultimately. Will she feel sad? Will she care? And so I see that, and that's a fact. I've seen her lips flapping, her noises coming out of her mouth. I've lost a father. I've lost my father. No, Meghan, pick the phone up. Go and visit him. So, and now with Jeremy Clarkson, the two have reinforced each other of her vengeful, judgmental and non-forgiving nature. I have seen that. I have not actually physically seen Prince Andrew having sexual intercourse with a minor, for example, or with someone against their will. I have not physically seen that. I've seen a dodgy photograph that, in my opinion, I've seen better photoshops. There's something funny about that. I almost feel it's a cardboard cutout that the girl's with. I just don't believe her. I don't believe her at all. And so until I see something physically, or hear something and see something with my own eyes and ears, I can't judge people. And even when I do see people, I mean, if Meghan was like forgiving and there were other disputes between her and her father, and I saw difficulties in the relationship, I don't think I would judge her anywhere near as harshly as I am at the moment, because I'd think, well, she's a fellow human being struggling. This perpetual insistence that she's perfect, never sins, never makes a mistake, is superior and better than all of the rest of us. It just really grates on my nerves, that part of it. It's like, you know, it's so fake, because none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. And I, like the rest of you, can't wait until the ultimate headlines come out. I've got a sneaking suspicion I know what they're going to be. I've seen Lady C. She's hinting there are big secrets. When it comes to rumours on the internet, as we all know, about strange shapes when she was pregnant, I've said many times before that I believe that the pregnant kneecap could be explained by a Kevlar vest or some sort of bulletproof or stab-proof some awkward underwear that might have slipped, right? I'd prefer to believe that. But let's just hypothetically go down the road and say it was a moon bump, you know, pure and simple, that's what it was. I don't think that any of the Windsors would want that to come out as a headline. I hate to disappoint a lot of you, but I don't think they'd want that, because if it were to come out, people would be questioning Catherine and William's children, they would be questioning William and Harry's parenting, and I know there's already been questioning about Harry. They'd be questioning the whole lot of them, and very much the foundation block of the Windsors is the fact that they are a bloodline, a hereditary bloodline, and even DNA tests wouldn't satisfy people, because unless they saw the blood coming out of the arm and the camera was not edited, and even if it was, they'd say that was edited and I bet they slipped some DNA in there. It would open up a nightmare for the Windsors. I personally believe that the headlines that are going to come out, and it's been hinted at for months and in the Daily Express, are that the bullying stories, the details, are going to come out soon. Now, from a PR point of view, and I'm just sort of randomly rambling on today because I've been taken in a waft back in time, Frank Boff, Selena Scott and Angus Deaton, and happier memories in celebrity life. From a PR point of view, one of the most catastrophic things that Meghan and Harry do is they automatically alienate an enormous section of the population. For example, Meghan, I only want to support women and girls. Therefore, a large proportion of the male population are like, oh. Or, we only want to support charities on the continent of Africa. So a lot of people in Britain are thinking, oh. Or Harry saying he doesn't like, apparently, unattractive women, such as his house mistress, whoever she was, and I haven't read the book, but I have heard the quotes, that he says really mean things about a lady who he says was not hot. And he goes on, she's greasy, and I won't repeat it all. How does he think that makes not only her feel, but anyone else out there who might feel self-conscious about their appearance, like, for example, pretty much all of us, how does he think that makes people like that feel? That's alienating them, really. When he talks about people who are making money, poor people are making money off me, he's alienating huge chunks of the community. So from a PR point of view, it is an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster. And as my daughter said to me last night, when I told her about the derogatory things that he had said in the book about individual journalists and this house mistress, my daughter, who does not approve of but she calls them feminazis and harsh left wokey cokies, she said, oh boy, his fan base is going to cancel him now. They are going to cancel him because that's what they do. They get a whiff of anything, bullying, mean, saying anything at all. They are unforgiving, relentless, you're gone. And I think that might explain the enormous dip in his popularity in America from, interestingly enough, 18 to 24-year-olds. Anyway, as always, I'm still working my way through comments from videos weeks back. I'm determined to read them all. And your comments on yesterday's video, fantastic. And Graham's back now.
I'm back. Have you had toast?
Who's your favourite celebrity that got cancelled? Have you ever had one cancelled?
I don't know. Can't think of any offhand. That's a bit of a question to throw on my toes.
What a question, as Larry King would say.
What a question.
There must be somebody. You liked Angus, didn't you?
Yeah.
He was really funny.
Do celebrities count as people who are like small-time celebrity as well?
Yeah,
I
anybody.
think Clint Eastwood, he was my favourite. They never let him into Hollywood, did they, really?
He was never cancelled,
He was never cancelled, but he was always
celebrities that were cancelled.
pushed out, wasn't he? They didn't really let him into the inner circle, did they? It took years to shoot his way in.
No, I'm talking about people who just suddenly come up on the rough edge of...
Are you talking about cancelled celebrities or celebrities in general?
No, cancelled celebrities. I mean, we all, as a family, we watch a YouTuber called Brandon Rogers. Not very often. I love Brandon. He's a huge YouTuber.
We're British!
He is hilarious. If you imagine Sacha Baron Cohen, and then like 100 times more shocking.
Yeah.
And his comedy is very much, he's a young guy, is against the cancel culture. So if any of you lot are brave enough and you don't get shocked easily, I recommend you look up A Day at the Beach by Brandon Rogers. In fact, I think I'll put a link in the description.
Why not?
But I can't watch him too often because he's got so much energy. And even for someone like me, I feel exhausted after about 10 minutes because his sketches are about 5 seconds long each. And they're hilarious.
They do my head in.
British
I do enjoy watching his stuff, but the jokes come too fast and I can't keep up.
You've got to watch it 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's just how our generation speaks. We're quite quick. I have to slow down to talk to you. But your British followers will understand his quote. Joke's on you, we think that means cigarettes. They will understand that. Americans
There's a lot of the language is strong as well. So
There
if
have
you're
been-
shocked by bad language, don't watch it.
There have been loads of people cancelled. I was watching a video the other night by loads of A-listers on Hollywood who've been cancelled. Will never work again, you know.
I'll tell you someone who I
It
think
was
is
surprising who you see on there.
going to face a bit of cancer. Alec Baldwin. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I'm not getting into
I
that
was
one.
watching Trevor this morning. Trevor reckons he's already been convicted for that.
Oh, I haven't read up on it. It's not
I haven't
a
read it
story
yet, I
that-
don't know.
You know who hasn't been cancelled yet, and at this point I'm not even sure if they will be. What's her name? The trans Kardashian.
Oh, well, yes. What's the name of the dad? The mum, the second mum in the Kardashian family. Jenner.
I don't watch them.
Kirsten Jenner, Kylie Jenner.
I don't watch them.
know.
Is it Kylie? I can't. You guys know the name.
She bashed
Dylan.
Dylan Mulroney.
Dylan is a lovely trans person, very, very sweet, and got bashed by this other very famous trans person, apparently. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that, it's getting a bit...
It's a minefield,
I should
isn't
have
it?
structured this video better, I can see. So, cancel the show! See you later, guys.